Next summer, Michael J. Sullivan is set to publish the final installment in his Rise and Fall series, Esrahaddon. The series is currently riding high, since Fairlane, which was published this summer, has many readers calling it Sullivan's best book to date. But today, I want to cover the 6 reasons that I think Esrahaddon will be the most important book, not only in the series, but of all the books set in Elan. And I'm going to do it with no major spoilers. The first reason deals with book length. It's no secret that over the past 2 decades, the fantasy genre has been getting longer and longer, introducing epic series and giant books. But even in the midst of this, Sullivan has kept his stories shorter, and that's purposeful. He does that by not adding extra fluff to his stories. Each scene in the book constantly drives the plot forward, and he doesn't waste sentences. And if you learn something interesting, you can be pretty sure that that's going to be important later in the book, or even in a subsequent book. Sullivan's books tend to run about 120,000 words, with The Crown Conspiracy being the shortest at just under 100,000, and Persepliquis currently being the longest at 168,000. But that's where Esrahaddon becomes an outlier. After Sullivan finished his first draft, Esrahaddon was 275,000 words. He has reportedly tried to cut this by about 30,000 words to make it shorter. But even then, Esrahaddon is by far the longest book we have set in Elan. And knowing Sullivan's writing style, that means we're going to get a lot more plot and a lot more information, whether that be about lore, characters, politics, magic, or many other things. Speaking of learning new things, let's go to reason number 2. We are going to get the solutions to a lot of unanswered questions. Sullivan is known for being extremely accessible to fans and answering their questions. But over the past 2 years, the same response has been popping up over and over again. At this point, it's basically a meme in the community that if you have a question, the answer will be in Esrahaddon. I searched for just about 30 minutes and found out we should be learning about the following. More information on Illuria's status, how the art works with medicine and healing, what Arcadius meant by the tomb of Yolric, more information on the Horn of Glendora and the meeting at Avanpartha, why Esrahaddon got to keep his cloak, the truth behind Esrahaddon's name, and how a certain city was preserved. And that was just after minimal searching. There are certainly many more questions readers have asked where the answer was, you'll find out in Esrahaddon. For reason number 3, we must go to one of the major races in Elan, the Fhrey in Erivan. We saw a lot of the Fhrey, or elves, in the Legend series. But over the next series, which cover the next 3,000 years, they're a bit of a black box. And so there's a lot of excitement that we could see what is happening in their homeland. When asked about this potential in an interview, Sullivan stated,
"Okay, this is something that even Robin doesn't know, but yes, you'll see some of that. You're going to get the background on what's going on in Erivan and several other things that are going on. It's a huge book, and it's..."
Next, we move over to what might be an even more exciting race, the Goblins. On the Bahran archipelago, the Goblins, aka Gazelle, reside. A lot of people forget, but the Goblins are one of the major 4 races of Elan. And we've seen the humans and the elves and the dwarves all to varying degrees, but we have never seen the inner workings of the Goblins and what is going on with their society, which is made even more intriguing by their backstory. But finally, after 18 books, it sounds like we might finally get this information. Sullivan has hinted at it in posts, as well as come out and say it in that same interview as earlier.
Oh yeah. So it's very big, but yes, you'll find, you'll get the background on the goblins that you've always wanted to know, and you're going to get the background on.
Now, number 5 is going to be the hardest to explain while avoiding any spoilers, but let's try it anyway. All of the series and books have their own plot lines, with their own villains and heroes and obstacles they have to overcome. But underneath all the series, almost hidden, there's a common through line. And it is this grander scale through line that is really the driving force that moves forward the events on Elan. I won't get into details here, because that deserves a whole spoiler-filled video on its own. But I will say that there's a character who is pivotal to that cosmic through line. A character who is in Legends, who we see in Rise and Fall, but who is notably absent from the Riyria timeline. Now, thanks to the flashbacks and revelations, we know that this character will be in Esrahaddon and could even play a large role. But we believe that the answer to why this character is not in the Riyria timeline will be answered in Esrahaddon. And that answer could change everything. Which leads us well into reason number 6. And for the final reason as to why Esrahaddon will be the most important book, I will leave you with a single comment. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Be sure to subscribe and watch my other videos to learn more about the world of Elan and Riyria. Thanks!